are Assistant Professor of Mechatronics Department of Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bengaluru. Would welcome you all for the second day of first session of a 2-week AICTE sponsored online FTP on fostering ethics, moral values, and character building in technical education, being conducted from 23rd November 2020 to 5th December 2020. Today, we have an eminent personality, Dr. Shashidhar G. Kulagudi, as the session speaker. I am very much honored to introduce and welcome sir. Dr. Shashidhar G. Kulagudi is an associate professor in Department of CSE in NITK Surathkal, Karnataka. Sir has published 2 books in Springer series named Emotion Recognition Using Speech Features, and the other one is Robust Emotion Recognition Using Spectral and Prosodic Features. He has also published 5 chapters in many Springer series. Also, sir has published in more than 100 conferences. Sir has published 35 journal papers in prestigious journal publications. He has been awarded the Best Paper Award in AdCons 2013, and he stood second to the university during ME and obtained MHRD India Fellowship during his doctoral degree PhD. Sir has his bachelor's in engineering degree in computer science and engineering discipline from Karnataka University, Dharwad in the year 1995. And sir has his master's degree in CSIT from Bengal Engineering and Science University, Howrah, West Bengal in the year 2005. And in 2011, sir was awarded doctoral degree from IIT Kharagpur. Also, to his credit, he has 3 patents which are already filed, and revision also has been submitted. Sir has joined NITK Surathkal in the year 2013 and has 22 vast years of experience. His areas of interest are speech and audio processing, image processing, and machine learning, machine intelligence, etc. He has 4 prestigious projects which are being worked out, and sir has guided 3 students for their doctoral degree and were awarded, and also sir is currently guiding 9 students for their doctoral degree. So with this brief introduction, I introduce Dr. Shashidhar G. Kulagudi to you all, and I welcome you sir on behalf of the organizing committee.
Thank you, Harish sir, for the nice words said about me. Shall we start now?
Yes, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good morning to all of you. From this end, I'm not able to see how many participants are there, and even I do not know whether interactions in between the sessions are possible or not. But the aim of my presentation through this talk is just to introduce first what research is, and what are the ethical practices that we should do in doing research. This will be a very exhaustive topic because research itself, to understand what research and what are the different phases in the research, we need a lot of time. I do not know whether I'll be able to cover both parts of research and ethics in this session. But let us see, whatever is possible I'll cover now, and the remaining part, if possible, we shall try to cover in phase 2 if the time permits. So anyway, majority of us, I hope, are either doing research, or we want to start research, or we're planning to do research, because PhD has become an inevitable degree requirement for at least academic structure. So if you are a PhD, then you have better prospects. Earlier, people or the recruiters used to see only the degree PhD. If you are PhD, then they used to recruit you. But now the things are not same. They are changed. They see if you are PhD from where you have done the PhD, and they also see what are your publications. Even if you say I had published 10 papers, and they see what kind of these publications are these. So many criteria have come, like you should have SCI index journals, you should have Scopus index journals, you should have UGC approved journals. So many things are there. As the competition increases, all these things are yet to come. Let us see what we can cover in today's topic. So first, I'll be briefing what is the basic need of research and what research is, and when to start research, what are the prerequisites, and is research important? If it is important, why is it important? And so many things we are doing, but sometimes we are doing things correctly, and sometimes we are doing things not correctly. How to do a correct research, that also is the scope of this presentation today. uh, some slides actually, once we prepare the slides should contain only points. They should not contain paragraphs or explanations. Maximum they should contain figures, tables, these kind of things. But this topic is in such a way that if I miss out some explanation, probably you will miss the whole point. Wherever necessary, I try to keep the complete explanation in the slide itself. But the ideal way of preparation of a slide is to include only points which will guide us through the flow of presentation. Hmm. So, how research can be defined? It's a creative and systematic work undertaken to increase stock of the knowledge. Already on this earth, we have several fields of studies. We have botany, we have zoology, we have medicine, we have science, we have computer science, mechatronics, so many things. So, on all these fields, people did certain inventions and certain identification of certain facts, and they kept it as a knowledge base. In every field, there is some knowledge. Knowledge means it is the approved facts by the people who are working in that area. But these facts will change. These facts will timely change. That is the beauty of science. Science is not still water. It's always a flowing water. Whatever we believe today, tomorrow if some new invention comes and people say something new about it, it changes. Previously, sun was thought to come around the earth. Now earth is coming around the sun. Previously earth was thought as a flat surface. Now the earth is spherical. So that way, even if it is a science, and we say that science is only a systematic study of facts or something, facts also do change. That is the beauty of science. So similarly, knowledge also changes, but knowledge keeps accumulating at one side, and that knowledge can be used for betterment of that field. So whenever you think of doing research, your aim should be finally to increase this quantity of the knowledge. Means you should be able to add something to this existing knowledge of your field. If it is started with that intention, then it will be a true research. Normally, the research involves collection, organization, analysis of data and information. There are two things. I hope already you know the differences. And whenever I ask some questions, the questions used to be very simple, which already we had studied in our degrees or PUC or 10th, whatever it is. You try to answer those questions. so that if the session is interactive, both of us can mutually believe that both of us are alive, isn't it? So whenever I ask questions, try to answer those questions. And if you have certain doubts about the point I'm discussing, you also are free to ask the questions there itself. Don't keep the questions till end. Maybe organizers can promote this. You can put questions to organizers, and organizers can ask that question if there is no possibility of direct communication. So normally in research, what we do is we collect certain data, we organize that data, and we analyze that data. All this is done to understand behavior of the data, or to understand the topic or the issue that we have taken for working. These are the very basic things about the research, just to understand, because many times we start working on our PhD or on our project without knowing what is the motivation, what we are supposed to do, what we are doing, why we are doing. So before that, all these things should be very clear. Then only at each step you can keep asking question, am I following these steps? A research project may be an expansion of the past work in the field. Somebody has done the work and it has been stopped there, then I am carrying it forward. Research is careful and detailed study into specific problem, concern, or issue using scientific method. So the last point is very important. So you might have helped your children doing their high school projects in science exhibitions or something. And you also might have observed a curiosity of children who get involved in those kind of science exhibitions, and they study everything and they systematically try to understand it, and they present it very well in front of the judges. The same way now adults have to do. That's a research. That's what it said, that it is an adult form of science fair projects back in the elementary school, where you try and learn something by performing an experiment. So once you do certain experiments in your high schools, you are not knowing about it. Everything was new to you. With that approach, you need to start. Many times, once we start research, we start with some prejudices. Prejudices means I believe something about uh, some issue or whatever problem I have chosen, and that mindset will not change. Everything that I study about the topic will be around that mindset or within the frameworks of that mindset, which is not correct. Hmm. So all these things we need to carefully know and understand before we start research. When to start a research? We should have a clear research problem in your mind, research question in your mind. It is if we are doing research for our academic promotions or something like that, then research will not be for a passion. Research is a requirement. Like I'm hungry, I want to eat something, so I will eat. But if you have a passion for eating, then very carefully you choose the food, what is good food for health, and how to eat that food, how many times you have to chew. All these things will come. So research should become a passion, or at one or the other phase of your life, one or the other moment of your life, you start feeling towards the research. That's the right time to start it. Otherwise it will be another BTech degree or something like that. So for research, you should have a passion about it. You should have a clear research question in your mind. Get to know the issues in the topic you want to research. In whatever topic you want to do research, you should know what are the different issues available there, what are the problems available there. Check the solutions given to the problem by other researchers. You know the area, you know the problem. You also should know how other people have solved this problem. Fine. Recently, I assume a majority of you are from computer science or circuit branch background. There is one notorious NP complete problem, traveling salesperson's problem. Recently, some people have given a better solution to that. Better solution in the sense, it is a solution which had improved the previous heuristic solutions. So that way, if you know what are the solutions presently other people have given to the problem that you have chosen, then you have options to improve the efficiency of that solution. Otherwise, you may end up in repeated research. You may end up nowhere. You do not know. So before you start doing research, you should have question in your mind. You should have also solutions of the others towards that problem. Try understanding solutions and the drawbacks. People have given solutions. Majority of the researches, what we are doing today, even with a good journal publications, will give best results only in certain constrained environment. Some constraints, assumptions. With these assumptions, my systems work better. It is true for all research. We cannot all of a sudden develop a system which works for everything, every situation, every data, every place. So always it will be with certain assumptions. If you keep on removing these assumptions one after the other, probably you are moving towards more generalized solutions. That would be ideal research. So you should know what these solutions are, not only knowing, understanding with what assumptions, what constraints these solutions are given, how did they obtain these solutions, whether these solutions are obtainable or not, and also their drawbacks. What are the drawbacks of these solutions? So once you know all these things, then you start working on these drawbacks. There are so many assumptions people have done. There are so many drawbacks to the solutions which already have been given. So try to work on these drawbacks so that probably you'll be able to come out with at least few drawbacks, few reported drawbacks in the literature. That would be a good contribution to the field of knowledge. Again, a small medical example is taken and a context, a situation is explained why research is important. Research is essential to find out which treatments work better for patients. You might be knowing situation around 40, 50 years before, 60 years before, where there were no family planning operations. There were no use of contraceptives. The thing was totally different. A natural phenomena has to stop a reproduction. But slowly, the things are different. New things have been invented. So many contraceptives have come. Now we can plan for our family, which we call as family planning. And even we can go for tubectomy, vasectomy, so many kinds of contraceptive approaches. So it is essential to find out which treatment works better for patients. It plays an important role in discovering new treatments. Earlier, some treatments were available. Now, new treatments have to come. They must keep your patients calm, non-invasive, and making sure that we use existing treatments in the best possible ways. A research should discover new treatments, and available treatment should be used in the best possible way. Try to relate all these statements with the research what you are doing. Existing techniques, how best way they can be used, and proposing a new technique. Research can find answers to things that are unknown, filling gaps in knowledge and changing the way that healthcare professionals work. Recently, we were working. One more thing is necessity is a mother of invention. We have heard this statement long back. In this pandemic COVID, doctors took a lot of challenges and they worked with the patients. Many doctors gave up their life also in that. But some doctors expressed their concerns to us, saying that if there are digital stethoscopes, then it would be better. Digital stethoscopes, in the sense, now doctors take the stethoscope, come in a very near vicinity of the patient, put that stethoscope on the chest and on the back of the patient, and tries to hear the chest cavity sounds which are amplified through a membrane of that stethoscope. If a patient is COVID hit patient, then doctor's life is in danger. So can we have a digital stethoscope where a patient from far away distance of 6 meters or 8 meters, a small stethoscope kind of a unit will be there. Patient himself puts it in on his chest or a back as per the directions of the doctor, and doctor can hear remotely what the chest cavity sounds are. These are improving the healthcare professionals' work using the knowledge that we have. We have a lot of scientific knowledge, and it's a very simple application, isn't it? So this way, research is important to do all these things. So the common aims of conducting research are diagnose diseases and health problems. You might have, at least I had experience, you also might have experienced this. Sometimes I have some problems in my body, but once I go to doctor and doctor checks up everything with all available modern equipment, finally he says nothing fault is found. Nothing fault is found. We come out with a happy feeling, but the pain persists. Same thing happened. I had back pain. I went to doctor. Doctor took MRI scans, and finally he said that nothing to worry. No symptoms are shown in the MRI. You are perfectly all right. But how did I get my pain? What should I do with my pain? What is the problem here? The problem here is the equipments or technology, whatever we are using now, they are not sufficient to find out all kinds of ailments that we have. Around 50-60 years before, if a person gets a cancer, death is a destiny. Now people are saying, medical field is assuring that at least if your cancer is in second stage, up to second stage, treatment can be given and your life can be saved. At least a death can be postponed for 10-15 years. This is an improvement. Means the medical field is improving with, it's called as incremental research. Slowly the things are happening one after the other, one above the other. Prevent the development or recurrence of disease and reduce the number of people who become ill. That should be aim actually. That should be aim of the research. But now there is also competition, isn't it? Doctors first make patients ill, then they treat them. Majority of big hospitals, that itself happens. You might have heard Padma Shri Dr. B.M. Hegde. A lot of YouTube narrations are there by him. He says the casualties which are happening because of diseases like cancer are more after doctors started treating cancer patients. Means somewhere some improvements are happening, but those improvements also might be dangerous to some other kind of treatments or life. Maybe this is also true. Previously data was not available. Now complete data is available, so we are feeling that. So let us not worry that that is out of scope of discussion. Finally, the aim should be to improve the quality of a life for people living with illness. If somebody is living with the illness, has got a severe pain, then the patient should feel that he doesn't have pain. So give painkillers. By giving painkillers, we have some other problems, but at least that's one side development of things. These were not there before. So the main purpose of research is to inform action, to prove a theory, and contribute to development or developing a knowledge in the field of study. Um, Theories are there, hypotheses are there. Theories means already many people have proved that using many kind of data. So that is a theory. So you need to enrich a theory that you have, and you need to contribute to the knowledge that already there in that field. That should be a purpose of any research. The significance of research is highlighted with the following points. Whenever you do research, there should be a proper tool of quantifying the knowledge that you are adding to the field of knowledge, a tool for building knowledge and for facilitating learning. I have done so many things, so many researches, but people are not understanding that because I do not have a proper interface. I do not have proper way of making them understand. That's of no use. So here the research should be, it should be easily learned. Means to understand various issues and increase public awareness. Previously, once these mobile networks are started and all of us started using mobiles in probably 1995, around 95, so many towers came, mobile towers came. Those mobile towers were established in highly populated area to reach many people. But at that time, the hazardous effects of those mobile towers on the health of living beings, including birds, animals, humans, were not studied. But you need to understand, that is the next research issue, of course, is fine. You need to understand all these issues and increase the public awareness. Your research should increase the public awareness and aid to business success. Any business, they are struggling to solve a particular kind of problem. If you give a solution to that, they will flourish. Business success. A way to prove lies and to support truths, which is myth, which is truth. That we need, our research should support for understanding this thing properly. Many times, all the problems that we face in our life is because we are not able or capable, or the surroundings of us are not supporting us properly to decide which is right, which is wrong. Something which is wrong at that moment of time, by seeing the surroundings, we think it is right. We go with that. After 10 years, probably people feel that it was wrong. Then already it has created the damage whichever has to be created. Recently, one of the ex-ministers got arrested. Recently, one of the ex-officers got raided. While they do the things, whatever they had done, which led to their arrest, they thought that it was right. But now, if they feel that I would not have done it, it was wrong, there is of no use. So, your research should always support people to tell what is myth and what is truth, which are right, which are wrong. Recently, you might have heard in American country there is one very big hospital group called as John Hopkins. This John Hopkins people, they are seriously working on the food habits of people, and they are saying that all wheat related items like wheat, barley contain a protein called as gluten, which will have a direct impact on insulin secretion of your pancreas. Means if you are continuously using a wheat, then there are chances that your pancreas may be damaged and you may get a permanent diabetic patient. Fine. So these kind of things your research should properly support. It is also true. It is also true that for many reasons, research is misutilized. Research is misutilized. Means those are called as research of vested interests. They are interested to promote certain thing, so they fund certain kind of research, and they manipulate the outcome of that research according to their needs, and they affect the whole community because of that. I don't want to go into the details of all those things. There is one person you might have heard, Dr. Khader, who is a dietitian, a very known scholarly person in dietetics. He studied in ISC and he went to foreign university, and he worked for some foreign multinational companies. You can hear to him. You have many YouTube videos of him. Some ideas you get. A seed of love towards reading, writing, analyzing, sharing valuable information. Your research should trigger this. Nourishment and exercise for the mind. You should read more, think more, and you should deliver more. Your mind should work towards that. Your mind should be nourished properly. That is the research. Whatever research we are doing, whether we are doing all these things or not, we need to think. Maybe heavy dose Vijayashree madam and team are making us to give to all researchers, but this is ideal way. This is too ideal. Many times following all ideal ways is not possible, but at least ideal way should be known. A person who is walking, he should know what is the ideal way of walking. Then if not possible to properly walk in the ideal way, at least he can compare his way of doing with the ideal way, and he can see what best way I can try to reach this ideal way of doing. But ideal way always we should know. We should know. If we do not know, then we are nowhere. So the purpose of this talk is that. See here, very simple thing. Choose your research topic. I'm starting from the top. Choose your research topic. How to do the research correctly. What are the steps? Wide variety of topics are there. It's an ocean of knowledge. You need to choose from this ocean one topic for your research. Narrow it down and find your niche. If I choose a topic, maybe it's one word topic like networks, like machine learning. So I cannot do research in network. I cannot do research in machine learning. It's a broad topic. So from this I have to narrow down. How can I make machines learn with a lesser number of examples effectively? This is a little narrower version of the machine learning. So after choosing, narrowing it down, then I have to identify what is the research problem. What exactly I want to solve in this? Whether the problem is existing or not. If the problem is existing, is it a new problem or an old problem? If it's an old problem, how other people try to solve it? All these things I should know. Normally, a practical way of identifying a problem is you need to participate in competitions and challenges, especially in circuit branches. Lot of global competitions and challenges are held every year, where you can develop your solution and you can submit it to those challenge people, and they will evaluate and they will give you your grade. The problems what they choose are mostly the relevant unsolved problems of today's scenario, today's world. So all of us have faced this. The major hurdle or a problem of doing research is identifying a problem. If you properly identify a problem, then 50% of your research is over. Because without knowing a problem, what will you solve? Solution everyone can give, but you need to find a problem which no one has solved, or in which there's a scope for new solutions, improved solutions. Fine. So and experience and what beauty of a person lies in not finding solutions but finding problems. If you are capable of giving research problem to your student, then your PhD is worth. They can solve, but you have to give a problem. For giving problem, you should know what is problem, whether the problem is solved by anybody else or not. If it is solved, to what extent it is solved, what is the level of solution. All those things you should know. Then develop clear research questions. You have chosen a problem, then you need to generate 3 or 4 questions of this out of this problem. Say for example, identifying emotions from person's voice. It's a problem I have chosen. Can we use excitation source features to identify emotions? One question. Can we use prosodic features to identify emotions of a person? Can we use spectral features to identify emotions of a person? These are some questions from the features point of view. Is it possible to use normal discriminative classifiers to identify or classify emotions? If I use neural network models like deep learning, CNNs, will I be able to improve the performance? This is from classification point of view. So this way, clearly you should be able to put the research questions whose answers you wish to find. Create a research designed to answer them. Problems you have identified, research questions you have framed. These research questions are mostly objectives of your research. Once your objectives are clear, jot down what is the design, research design to achieve solution to these objectives. And once you find out the answer, you publish your research outcomes. The first we should have when we start doing research, we should gather for the information, or so to say, we should gather for a data. Data, I mean, I'm talking about to acquire knowledge about what already is existing in that field. To acquire knowledge about what already existing in that field. The first resource which we get is internet. Type the things in the Google and see what is there. If you type one sentence or one word, lakhs of links will come in Google. Some are relevant links, majority of irrelevant links. Will not know. And one more basic source of information is Wikipedia. It is written here, start with Wikipedia but not end there. Normally, what is the difference between these web contents and actual should we believe that, or should we take it as a baseline before you start working? My opinion is we are not supposed to take them as baselines. That's what, start with Wikipedia to understand basic things, but don't take it as an end there itself. Means the knowledge doesn't end there, mainly because contents of majority of internet resources, say for example, you have blogs, you have Wikipedia, you have some technical interest groups. All these people, whatever they write and put it on a media, internet, it is not reviewed content. Nobody has reviewed it. I'm feeling something and I'm writing it in my blog. It is my feeling, my understanding of the subject, and my findings in that subject. it is not reviewed by anyone. That's important. As it is not reviewed by anyone, it is not generalized knowledge. That you cannot take as a baseline or reference for your studies. Journal articles you can take, because once you send somewhere the journal articles, they're called as peer reviewed. They are reviewed by people, and those people are experts in that field, and accordingly they rate your article, your results. They ask certain questions if they have got doubts. You solve those questions, and finally, if they are convinced that your research is good, then they will permit your article to be published in the journal, peer reviewed journal. Fine. So journal articles are good because they are reviewed by the experts. And how much time do we need for the review of a journal article which is written by somebody else, by the unknown person? At least take 2 to 3 months of time, because he has to read everything, he has to understand, he has to see whether it is in line with existing knowledge or not. So many problems are there. And there are some peer reviewed journals I have seen. If you send article today, in 15 days they will send you the result back. Probably 90% of the cases, acceptance. Of course they ask some money from you to publish the article. We shall come to that point later. Reading an article, technical article, which is of 8 to 10 pages, and understanding it and thinking that it adds knowledge to the existing knowledge base of the field and publishing it, is it so easy task? Even I have seen journals, if you send article today, next day you get acceptance. I don't want to name those journals, and you know those journals. And they claim that they are peer reviewed journals. We need to be very careful here. How to select a research topic? Normally, you sit with your students or you sit with your friends and you ask them questions, brainstorm. Brainstorming means let people express their opinion. And whichever flashes a nice way to you, you can choose a topic. You can visit the review articles in the journals. And once you read review articles, you will know everything what has been done in that area since beginning till that review article is published. And they also will highlight some future research problems to be addressed. If you get a very recent review paper, survey paper of 2019 2020, then probably its future research directions section will be helpful to you to decide the topic, research topic. Or if you attend or if you participate in international challenges and competitions, you will have a problem. Fine. Problem for your research. Next is read general background information. Read a general encyclopedia, Encyclopedia Britannica, which tells everything about everything. Take those encyclopedia normally covers all basic things about a particular thing. So read that. Once you read that, you will have basic understanding of everything about which you want to do research. And from there you can start building your research building. Now you know basics. Your basics are very strong. Many times we use words and we don't know what they are, and we complete our research and we submit our paper, we submit our thesis, we defend also, and we come out without knowing the meaning of different words which we have used in that research. Fine. Whenever you choose a research topic, whenever you choose certain areas of research, try to understand everything about it. Different words, their meanings. So focus on your topic. So whenever I choose a topic should be manageable to me. Manageable to me in the sense, the resource should be available for solution. And main thing is about resource. If resources are not available, what will I be able to do about the problem? Say for example, visiting Martian surface for mineral studies. If I choose this as a topic, research topic, will I be able to visit the surface of Mars to study what are the mineral depositions in the Mars crust? Not possible. Presently available resources are not permitting me to take up that research. So we should focus on the research topic in such a way that I should be able to manage it with the present resources whichever I have. The topic will be very difficult to research if it is too broad or too narrow. If I want to do research in the area of network, what should I do in network? Several things are there, thousands of books are there, lakhs of books are there. What should I do? This is a problem if topic is too broad. If the topic is too narrow, say for example the network Aloha protocol. Aloha protocol is not existing now, but still just an example. If you take a very small Aloha protocol which has been clearly implemented and everyone has an understanding about it, what research will you do in that? So topic should not be too broad, or topic should not be too narrow. Make a list of useful keywords. You have chosen the topic, and in that topic you will have keywords. Say for example, if it is machine learning, then machine learning is one keyword, then deep learning is one more keyword, then convolution neural network is one more keyword, backpropagation algorithm is one more keyword, feed forward network is one more keyword. Collect all these keywords and read about them. Read about them either from encyclopedia or from recent articles, whatever it is. After reading everything, you have some general idea about the whole area or the whole topic. So you start with that. Make a note of these words. Start searching about these words, including databases, catalogs. Then search for the problems what people have solved in those areas. Search for the databases which are available. Then you will have some broad idea that what I can do, what has been done, what is yet to be done. Be flexible. Research journey, you should keep it very flexible. If you decide problem on the first day itself and decide objectives on the first day itself and you try to solve them, majority of the times we change our research topic in the due course of finding solution to it. Research problem will be changed, objectives will be changed, because only when we start getting into deeper and deeper, we will understand which can be solved, which cannot be solved. If it cannot be solved, why it cannot be solved? Do I have resources about that or not? If resources are there also, are they affordable to me? All these questions you can answer only when you start working on that research topic. Broader level, I can say so many things. I can say that if you have visited moon, if you have landed on moon, what is the problem in landing on Mars? So Martian crust studies for mineral depositions is possible. Theoretically, or without knowing any literature, the statement is fine. But once you keep searching through literature, you will know exactly which is feasible, which is not feasible. If you have something in your objectives which is not feasible, then you should be flexible enough to change it to a feasible objective. Fine. Define your topic as a focused research question. So how to frame objectives, that is one more important thing. On a broad area of a topic which you have chosen, after you have narrowed it down, then ask some 3 or 4 questions which are prominent in that narrowed down area. Your aim should be to find a solution to these questions. And how to ask these questions, how to frame these questions? These questions should be non-overlappable in nature. Means if you try to find a solution to question number 1 and question number 2, the solution should be non-overlappable. Means its solution should not be a part of solution of other question. They are non-overlappable in nature, and they are sufficiently voluminous to have it published in a journal article. How to know it? Every day, if you work for 10 to 12 hours on that topic, you should be able to solve it in 6 months period, 5 to 6 months period. That's called as a voluminous problem, which you can publish in one good journal. Are you getting? Every day, 10 to 12 hours. Based on that, you can decide. If you are spending 1 hour a day, then you take a problem which you can solve in 5 years. One objective in 5 years. You need to solve at least 3 or 4 objectives. Then your plan will be 20-25 years plan to complete the research. No, our publications also will be like that. If you are not putting proper effort, proper time, if you are not spending proper time, then the publications that we have will be inferior publications. I said in the beginning, now quality of the research or PhD holder is being measured in terms of where is he publishing, what are the kinds of journals that he has published in. All these things they see. So while you decide the objectives, you frame questions, and you should know how to find answers for that. They should be non-overlappable. They should be sufficiently voluminous enough so that 6 months you can take to solve them. Fine. No, all this giving presentation is easy. Telling all these things is easy. But only once you start doing it, you know how difficult all these things are. And believe me, PhD is a highly subjective question, individualistic question. Whatever I'm telling now to you, probably these are my experiences. And these do not match with anybody else's experience. Just they may give some broad framework of how to do all these things. But while you start doing it in your own way, altogether they take different dimensions. Whatever I am telling may not match with the situation there at all. All those things we need to properly consider. What I'm talking is just a process. Just a process. If you follow this process, there is an expectation that good product we get. If process itself is not proper, then there is no guarantee that you get good product. In 99.9% of the cases, good product will not come. Good product will come just by chance in that case. Otherwise, you don't get good product because your process is not proper. Your process is not proper. It is something like a boy who keeps preparing for the exam for the whole year, and the one who believes on the luck that the question paper comes easy this year. One boy prepares whole year very systematically, preparing notes, reading every week, repeating it, and writing it, practicing it, all these things. Good process. One boy believes that probably I am lucky this time and the question paper will be easy. What are the chances that a serious boy and a non-serious boy getting good grades? The process is serious, obviously you get good grades. Process is not proper, very less chances are there to get the good outcome. That I wanted to highlight here. Define your topic as a focused research question. You will often begin with the word, develop more focused interest in an aspect of something related to that word, then begin to have questions about the topic. Simple things. Research and read more about your topic. Whenever you choose a research topic, the important thing is you should know everything about that which is normally not known by others. That should be your what? Your understanding about that subject once you complete research in that area. That's what I say. Normally, I have seen many students who blame guides, who blame their supervisor, saying that I did not get any input from my supervisor, so it was not possible for me to do good work. It is not supervisor's work, it is your work. And as I told, it is not possible by your supervisor to be equally expert in all the fields that his students are working. If 10 students are there, if 10 students are working on 10 different topics, do you think that your supervisor will be expert in all those 10 topics? All those 10 topics? Not at all possible. Supervisor can give you some broad guidelines. He can tell that this works, this doesn't work, because of some thumb rule which I know, which I have experienced. And it is up to you to prove or disprove what supervisor says. That comes only when your study will be of more in-depth compared to your supervisors. Supervisor normally superficially knows the things on the surface, but you should get into one depth down, two depths down, three depths down. If you go into the subject at different levels of depths, you will have very clear idea about the problem. That's one thing. You will have abundant problems there which are not solved by others because people have not gone to that depth. 99% of us, once we say we are doing research, we are superficially looking for the problems and superficially looking for the solutions. Once you do research, at least your depth should be one level more than your supervisor's depth. I'm talking, of course, about very serious supervisors who have gone 2 level, 3 level depths compared to their supervisors. If you're not able to get into that depth, you cannot do research. And whatever you know about your field of research, nobody else on this earth knows it. That confidence you should have. That level of depth you should go. If you go to the level of depth 3 or something, then you see only problems there. You see only problems. You don't see anything else. Hundreds of problems you have. Because people have not reached up to that depth. Again, whatever I'm telling, you need to assume and understand it in your own way of understanding. It may mean different things to different people, but I want you to understand your own way, because whatever I'm explaining is because of my experience. Formulate the research or thesis statement. Write your topic as a thesis statement, thesis title. This may be answer to your research question. How to frame a thesis title? Thesis title should be solution to a research objectives or the questions whichever you have framed. You have asked three questions: objective number 1, objective number 2, objective number 3. Then one word answer which I will give for all these three questions as answer. That will be a research title. That will be a thesis title. Fine. Now, in individual cases, it may be different, but it's a general way. And research thesis title should not be very general, like name of a chapter of the textbook. Say, for example, if you take my research topic, emotion recognition from speech. My title of my thesis is emotion recognition from speech using excitation, spectral, and prosodic features. And my first objective was to explore excitation source features for identification of emotion of a person. Second objective is to explore spectral features for identifying emotions. Third objective is to explore prosodic features to identify emotions. And a little general title than this would be emotion, identification of emotions. Identification of emotions is very general. And still, if you go one more level of generalization, then emotions or human emotions. So, how to frame the thesis title is important. It should answer all your objectives that you have framed. It should not be too specific where every technical thing you are bringing in, like using convolution neural networks and prosodic features to understand human emotions. Not correct. You should have sufficient flexibility there inside to work upon. I use prosodic features, but I should have flexibility, what classifier to use, what derived features I should use, all these things. So that way you need to prepare a statement. Approaches. While I go for doing certain research, what kind of approach I should follow? Some are descriptive studies, descriptive approaches. So how this works? Facts should be gathered. I'm reading the highlighted portion of this text. Facts should be gathered according to predetermined criteria and for the purpose of demonstrating relationship of interests. Descriptive means some problem is there, I know its solution, it can be described and work something based on this description. It's already existing. Research outcomes are there. Those are properly described and you're asked to improve upon them and use upon them or something like that. This is a descriptive study. Next is explanatory study. The explanatory studies are designed to investigate origin cause effect relationships. Cause effect relationship means if I do this, this will be the outcome. If I do this, this will be the outcome. People have done like this, they got this output. People have used these features, they got those outputs. If people have used these classifiers, they got better output. Cause and effect relationships about everything we have to analyze. And the same thing I want to propose in my solution. If I do this, I'll get these kind of results because many people who have used this, they got these kind of results. Explanatory study. The historical study. if it is designed to facilitate a deeper understanding of historical processes, how people were controlled in medieval history of India. At that time, needs of the people were just food, nothing. All these luxuries were not there. They had not wanted to go from one place to other place for picnic or trip or tour. If their basic appetite, roti kapda makan, if they are fulfilled, they were happy. So kings, they used to hire them only for a food, no extra remuneration. You will get a good food, and I have one temple to be built. Build it. You have work for 6 years or 10 years. So if you join this project, then for the next years you don't have a problem of starvation, eating. That was a history. But now, culture of work from home, what is the need of people, gender equality, your what is that performance appraisal, your salary hike based on this company's profit. So the things are different. Fine. So one more is remedial study. Remedial study means I have this problem. To solve this problem, this is a solution. This is a remedy. Means in case of many invasive tests, a patient get hurted, so I need to go for non-invasive. That's a remedy. So for a non-invasive, what are the things I have to do? Something like that. The remedial study seeks to formulate plans to correct or improve undesirable social, economic, political, and environmental conditions. Already because of these problems, we are facing these conditions, we are facing these problems. How to get solution to that? Remedial study. Methodological study. A methodological study attempts to devise, test, or improve new research methods in planning. Very systematically done according to certain methods, proper methods. Then, using that method itself, we design, we test, and we try to improve the outcomes. So, all these approaches to research are overlapping in nature. Overlapping in nature. But somewhere we need to draw a hairline boundary between them, and we need to very clearly know what kind of approach I'm using, so that you have very clear idea in front of your eyes that which data I should concentrate upon, what questions I should answer, where I should search a solution for. Otherwise it will be a big confusion. Am I doing this? If it's not working, do that. If that's not working, do one more thing. That kind of confusions will go if you very clearly discriminate all these things before you start research. So what are the outcomes? Outcomes of research seek to understand the end results of particular practices and interventions. End results include effects that people experience and care about, such as change in the ability to function. Your research result should properly achieve this. So if it is an academic research, what are the things that you achieve? You see, from the right side, I'm reading spin-off companies. I did certain research, I got certain idea, I want to float it further. Then I start my own startup spin-off company, which will perform this. Then contracts and collaborations. Because of my research is highly group activity. Individually, if you say I'm doing research, it is not worth useful research. So I need to work in collaboration, consultation, contract with others. That will happen. International collaborations will happen. Or I will collaborate with surgical instrument manufacturing company. Then I work with them to manufacture digital stethoscopes. something like that. Then digital stethoscopes are available in foreign countries, but they are not being practically used because of their high cost and because of their poor interface of functionality and these kind of things. Graduates and trainees, once I do certain research, I employ someone for working for me, implementing my ideas, so you get better trainees. Economic growth and job creation, if I do certain research which can be productized, then economic growths can happen. Invention, new things I can give. Then knowledge creation and diffusion, I can create a new knowledge to the field and I can diffuse it to the people. Then consultation, consulting, many people can come to me and take this idea and start doing, improving their work. All these are the outcomes of academic research. Then all these things individually we will be discussing now, how they are different. Hmm. Harish sir or Vijayashri madam? Harish, Sarvesh, Vijayashri madam, anyone? Anybody from the organizers?
Sir,
Yes, I do not know whether I am audible to everyone or not, because it is
yes, sir.
being one-sided.
No, 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 you are audible, sir.
Okay, so is this space fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's going on well.
So is it a continuous 2-hour session or some break is there in between?
So we can have a break for some time,
Now shall
then
we
we
have
can
for
proceed.
5 minutes? 5 minutes?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. We can start
Just
at
five.
11:55. 10
Okay,
minutes break we
just
can have.
just you announce it to others because it's a
Yes, yes, sir.
continuous
Sure, sir.
bombardment.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. We will have a break for the same session and we'll join back at 11:55. We'll have a break of 10 minutes. We'll continue with the same topic again. Please join
thank,
back after 10 minutes.
thank you. How many
Thank you,
people are there,
sir.
madam?
Sir, as of viewers, it is maybe around more than 30, 35.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Hello, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Sir, you can start, sir.
Okay. So we were discussing about problem definition phase in detail now. Problem statement is a concise description of an issue to be addressed or condition to be improved upon. As I said, there will be incremental research where we are improving the existing condition. That should be a part of a problem statement. Are you doing incremental research or it is altogether new research? So that should be reflected in the problem statement. It identifies the gap between the current state and the desired state of the process or a product. Means what the present solutions are giving and in what aspect you want to improve and what will be the improved measurement, quantification, that you should be able to describe in this problem definition. Focusing on the facts, the problem statement should be designed to address the 5 W's. 5 W's you should be able to address through a problem statement. Those 5 W's are: what is the key issue you are trying to address, solve, and why is it important? If I solve a problem which is of not relevance today, it is of no use. So the issue, what is the issue that you are going to solve, and what is the motivation for that? Why is it important? And who is a beneficiary? Once you solve this problem, who is going to use your solution? Who is a beneficiary of this solution? And what social and cultural factors shape this problem? Means, why did you choose this problem for a solution? What are the social and economical and cultural factors? Those are prevalent in this problem. What evidence do you have that this is worth the investment? Investment means it's the investment of man hours, investment of your time, investment of sometimes money. All these investments you're doing, is it worth doing it? And what is the proof for that? If you say it's worth doing, what's the proof for that? Can you think of this problem in different way? Can you reframe it? This problem you choose for solving, can it be thought in a different way? And can you reframe it so that it will address altogether a new application, new solution, new problem? So all these things you should be very clearly reflect in problem statement. So how to start, what to do? We have defined a problem now. How to proceed? For a research journey, there are two important decisions to make. What you want to find out about, or what are the research questions you want to find answers to. What do you want to do and how do you want to do it? These two are important. What do you want to do, you can get just by seeing the literature. How do you want to do is based on literature review. ಇದನ್ನೊಂದು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಮನೇದು ಹೌದು. ಆನ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಟನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಡ್. ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. So these are the things that we need to understand before you start anything. You should know a clear idea about these two things. So what are the normal steps? As we have a waterfall model of software development, we have certain steps which we are supposed to follow during research activity. So which will ensure a better process. If the process is good, obviously the product is expected to be good. Formulating the research problem, extensive literature review. Once we formulate the problem, we should read extensively about it. Developing the objectives. Problem you have identified, broad problem. You have read everything or many things about it. Then form the objectives, form the questions, what do you want to solve. Preparing research design, including sample design. Research design in the sense solution, possible solutions. Prepare the possible solutions. Means once you do problem definition and decide the objectives, you should have a very clear understanding of what is to be done and how is it to be done, which works and which doesn't work, which database should be used and which database is not relevant. All these questions should have answer by the time you define research objectives. That's very important. Means once research objectives are identified, you don't have any scope for trial and error and testing whether it works, it doesn't work. All these things, all these questions are already answered. Fine. Then collecting a data, then analyzing a data, arranging a data in whatever form you want, then getting the results and generalization and interpretation of the results. The results everyone will get, because nowadays if it is a research in computer science, then everything that what you get is some numbers. How to represent, how to interpret these numbers, what are these numbers, that is an experience of a researcher. If you get if it's a probabilistic classification approach, if you get a probability exactly 0.5, what is the meaning of that? If you get a probability 0.9, what's the meaning of that? If you get a probability 0.05, what's the meaning of that? This proper interpretation of what results you have got, that's important. And that becomes very specific research, and you need to generalize these results. Means in general conditions where you remove the assumptions, also this should work. You should try for that. Preparation of the report and presentation of the results, either in the conferences or in journals, whatever it is. These are the steps, major steps, which are involved in all research activities. Reviewing the literature. Literature review should be exhaustively done, especially to help you in during defense. I have done research. This research, I have published certain publications. I submitted as a research thesis, it as a research thesis to some university. Then finally a defense exam comes. During defense, so many people are attending the defense exam who may not be knowing the details, minute details of your research area as you know. They may ask any Tom, Dick and Harry questions. You should be able to answer all the questions. At least you should be able to relate their question to your research and give them some satisfactory answer. All these things are possible only when you know everything and anything about the research topic you have chosen. I'm not telling that you should know solution to everything, but at least you should know the terminology that they use. At least you should know the issue that they raise. At least you should know if they quote certain literature. At least you should know the author and what work he has done. Then you'll be able to relate all of them and give a satisfactory answer to the listener during defense exam. That's much important. So the functions of literature review are bringing clarity and focus to your research problem. If you read more, you have more clarity about the work that you are doing. Improve your methodology. Whatever methodology you want to use, improve. Broaden your knowledge. You have certain idea about the area now, field now, that knowledge will be broadened. Contextualize your findings. You have got certain results, interpret them properly, contextualize them properly. Whatever idea you have, whatever intuition you have, put it properly in words. All those things are possible only when you have complete literature idea of complete literature. What are all the things those have happened in this field? Same thing in detail. I think I did not have to concentrate more on these points. It is the same thing whatever I have explained. Broaden your knowledge, contextualize your findings. So finally, what it helps, how to revive the literature. Reading journal article or a conference article is an art, and once you are reading something which is done by somebody else and reported by somebody else and understanding it so that you can use it in your research is not that easy task. To understand one IEEE transaction, IEEE or ACM transaction paper, we need at least 1 week. You need at least 1 week to understand. I'm talking to understand. But in all researches, technical researches should be done in such a way that they are reproducible. Once I read your article, I should be able to reproduce whatever you have done and get similar results on whatever data set you have used. That should be the base point. So once I know these things, now you think how difficult the reading is. Reading is not just like reading a storybook. You should understand every point of it, every word of it. And if somebody asks you to reproduce the results, you should be able to do that. Very difficult task. So how, and if you say one, for rigorous reading, if you take 1 week to read one journal article, then your references, reference of your thesis, you have at least 200 references. 200 references and 200 weeks. 4 years of literature study you have done in that case. When will you start your working? So there is an art of reading. First you see the results. If results are influencing, very good. Then you go for what is written in the abstract and what is written in the conclusion. Results are good or influencing means the result should be better than state of the art of that time. State of the art means the best possible at that time. Today, if I am doing certain research in that area, what is the best possible result? And one more thing I want to say here, always use transaction papers for referring your results. If you take from any conference, people may not believe it. People may not trust the results. So take a transaction, thoroughly reviewed transaction papers and compare your results. And your results are better than state of the art, then the paper is worth reading. Read the abstract and read the conclusion. You will understand whether it is related to your area and what kind of assumptions they have made, if those assumptions are realistic assumptions, or anybody can get these kind of results if that assumption is done. All these things you can understand by reading conclusion and abstract. If you still find that it is worth reading, then go through introduction. After reading introduction, you will know everything about that work. Still, if you feel that it is worth reading, then go for methodology and implementation. So this way you need to read. Otherwise, you stop reading that article in intermediate steps. Like if the results are not good, in the beginning itself you understand state of the art is something else and these results are inferior. What do you do by reading that? You can drop it. Fine, that way. So search for existing literature in your area of studies, review the literature selected, develop a theoretical framework, develop a conceptual framework. All these things are to be properly followed while you are reading any literature article. If you simply read, then there is no use. And one more thing, very seriously, I want to comment here. I have observed it. Once it is a literature study, I have seen almost 99% of the people, they list, if they have read 200 papers, they list all 200 papers in the literature review chapter, and they, for each paper, they use around 4-5 sentences. So and so has done so and so. These are the results got. That is not a review. It is a collection of some papers in that area. It is not a critical review. It's not a critical review. You need to review. What is review? You should have some background story flowing. And you need to fix all these literary works in that story wherever the role comes. The field, the development of the field started by this year in this way. Initially, the problem was thought of single dimensional. So people tried to solve it this way. They got these results. Then problem became multidimensional, seeing the applications. So people started using it for all these things. So new features have been used. New classifiers have been used. So these are the new results. But even after we got these results, these assumptions were major hindrance for making them generalized. So these assumptions people started reducing. So these are the new papers which have come. This way you should develop the whole story, and you should stop at the end covering the last paper which has appeared in that area, saying that after seeing the objectives of this paper, these are the future research directions from where you will derive the problem for your research. At least I might have checked some 100 PhD thesis for review. None of the students has written this kind of review. Read seriously some IEEE transaction papers, literature review section of the paper, then you see how it is. That way you need to write, then it will have value. Otherwise it doesn't have any value. It's just a collection, anybody can do. It is not a critical review. Fine. So for reviewing literature, you may refer books. Books contain information at least which is some 10 years before, because those people started composing that book, and they collected all papers and they consolidated them. They read and understood, consolidated. So by the time the book comes to the customer or reader, it contains all the articles at least 10 years older. So their limitation, their literature review limitation is left there. Then you come to journal articles. Journal articles, as I said, especially you need to use IEEE transactions. IEEE transactions are some very good SCI indexed journals. Those things people believe in the results of those journals. So use them in your work. Then only the quality of your journal will be good. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Then you have journals and you have conferences. Conference acceptance normally you get in 2 months. Means the result of conference, the result of the work that is presented in the conference is just 2-3 months old result. But if you see a results presented in the journal, good journal article like transactions, it is at least 2 years before technology. Because for a good journal paper to be accepted, at least 1.5 to 2 years you need. If you send it today, for doing that work and writing the paper, you need 2 years. Completely doing the work and writing the paper in a systematic way, correcting it, you need 2 years. And after you send, they review, again they send a revision, you revise and send them back, again send the revision, 2-3 revisions, 2-3 rounds of revisions. 1.5 to 2 years you need for publication. So totally, if you take a very good journal article, the research topic which was chosen was 4 years back. So state of the art you don't get. In the meantime, you might have got many other papers. So normally conference papers, very good internationally known conferences, if you refer, then you get immediate results, state of the art results. But again, conferences should be trustworthy. There are some SCI indexed conference papers. Say for example, ICASP, ICASSP. ICASP is in SCI indexed conference. In each field, there are very good internationally acclaimed conferences. If you publish in that, or if you refer the articles published in those conferences, that is trustworthy, that is good. So then after reading complete the literature review, develop a theoretical framework. Means based on this reading, you can fix this whole area into this framework. This is out of the scope of this work, this is inside the scope of this work. You should be able to tell after completion of literature review. So just a lighter side. Don't reinvent the wheel. Wheel is invented long back. If your research reinvents one more wheel, it's of no use. If you do not do proper literature survey, you may end up inventing one more wheel. That's what it's written as implication of incomplete literature review. Sometimes you may say this is impossible research. In the recent journal article, whatever you have done, exactly the same thing might have been done. This will end up all your resources, time, enthusiasm, motivation, everything. So proper literature survey is important. Then the formulation of objectives. Objectives are to be formed. Literature survey I have done. Now I need to formulate how the objectives, what objectives I am going to solve. There will be two kinds of objectives, main objectives and sub-objectives. The main objectives are an overall statement of the thrust of your study. The sub-objectives are exact solutions to individual problems that you want to investigate. So how to start writing objectives? The objectives should be written starting with to determine, to find out, to ascertain, to measure, to explore, something like that. The words that you use while defining objectives will tell whether it's a descriptive research or correlational research or experimental research. To explore means experimental. To ascertain, to measure is correlational. To determine is descriptive, something like that. Examples are given. I don't want to read them. Then what are the characteristics of the objectives? Objectives should be clear. That's what I said, after deciding objectives, you should not have any confusion about what you are doing and how you are doing. It should be very clearly articulated. It should be complete. Complete means there is no scope for the reviewer to ask questions. This is not included, you include this, that way. Then specific, it should address a specific problem. Identify where variables to be correlated. Means this is important. Once you design certain objective, you should also have in your mind what are the metrics, the ways of measuring the performance of solution of this objective. I have identified the objective, I solve this objective. After solving, how should I measure this? And in scientific research, if you measure something in qualitative terms, people will not believe that. And people will not encourage that. If you say my method works better than the existing method, it is a qualitative statement, and people will not encourage this, and reviewers will reject. Because how do you say something which is better for you may not be better for me? Always you should quantify your results. For quantifying the results, you need to know what are the measuring techniques or metrics that you use. That should be very clearly known by the time you decided objectives. Identifying variables. Variables means what are the parameters that you can change. In the research study, it's important that the concepts used should be operationalized in measurable terms. Whatever ideas you have, you should be able to measure them properly. Those which vary, they are called as variables. This measuring metrics. The formulation of objectives. As I said, the important things are concepts and variables. So how to define variables? An image, perception, or concept that can be measured hence capable of taking on different values, is called variable. The performance, the accuracy of emotion recognition using spectral features is 85%. This 85% and the accuracy. 85% is the value it takes. Accuracy is a variable here. Similarly, you have gender is a variable which can take fm as values. Age is a variable, weight is a variable, height is a variable. These are all the variables. So you should have a very clear idea about variables before you articulate your objectives. Concepts are mental images or perceptions, and therefore their meaning varies markedly from individual to individual. The concept which I have, the same concept you might not be having, and whichever I say good, you may not say it as a good. The food is excellent, if I say, the same food might not be excellent for somebody else. So concepts are different and variables are different, but these outcome of these concepts you should be able to express in the form of variables which are quantifiable. So some one example is given. For measuring, you need to find indicators. Indicators are nothing but what are the parameters using which you measure. Say for example, rich is a concept. What are the indicators for rich? So income is one indicator. If person's income is very high, then he is rich. Then assets, what is the property he has? That is another indicator. Then variables, income is a variable, which may be less, more than 10,000, more than 1 lakh. Total value of assets, value of a home, value of car, value of investments. That is, these are variables. And you need to bifurcate them. Who is rich, who is not rich? So you need to have a bifurcation value. So if the value is greater than 1 lakh income, then he may be rich. His assets are more than 25 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, 25 lakhs, whatever it is, he might be rich. So all these things you need to define very clearly before your objectives are formulated. Same thing. Hypothesis, I do not know whether I should discuss or not. Altogether, it's a new topic. But every research should start with a proper hypothesis. If hypothesis is not properly defined, you cannot do research well. The formulation of objectives, the functions of hypothesis. Again, it deals with hypothesis. This talks about design of research issues, collecting data and all those things. So I think we should stop here because already the time is up. Next class may be there. So if time permits, the remaining part, especially the ethical part, I could not touch. That we can deal later. I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share some of my research ideas. Every person who talks about research will tell all these things, but as I said, those are highly individualistic, subjective, because most of the things that we discuss are out of our experiences. So I hope all of you have at least some points you could get out of this. I thank the organizers once again. If you have any questions, then you put them on the chat box or something if that facility is available, or you can ask in the open forum also.
Yeah. Sir,
The
there are
organizers can ask that question back to me. Sir, thank you.
Sir, there is one question.
Hello.
So what is your, sir, am I audible?
Please.
Yeah. So what is your opinion?
Yeah, you are audible. Sometimes your voice is breaking, but still it is fine.
Okay. So question is.
No, you are not audible. What is the opinion about?
Making research as compulsion rather than passion.
You are not audible, sir. Whether organizers can hear this, they can they repeat the question, please?
Sir, I will repeat the question.
Please.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, one question from Bharati MA. Sir, what is your opinion about making research as a compulsion rather than passion?
Okay. No, who has made research compulsion? Whether the management has made or you have made it. That you need to answer properly, because on this earth everyone cannot do everything. Some are very good teachers, some are very good researchers. The people who are very good research may not be good teachers, very good researchers may not be good teachers, and the vice versa is also true. Nowadays what is happening is, whatever Western universities are following blindly, the big people in education industry of India are trying to follow that. If foreign universities get very good funding projects, then every person in Indian context also should get that. Right person to comment whether this is right or wrong, but some steps we need to take towards excellence of students and teachers. A good researcher will have more confidence and will have more proper attitude towards his delivery of talk or whatever it is. If we confine our aim only to teaching, soon we become obsolete, because there can be good teachers, there can be better resources, and internet is the best teacher, of course. Whatever we do not know, majority of our students know that. Maybe it's a new tool, maybe it's a new fact, whatever it is. And many nowadays many video lectures are available. Teachers are not mandatory. At least after this COVID era, teachers, the role of a teacher has become very bleak. Even sometimes without having a teacher also a course can be run, because a lot of material is already available if you confine yourself to be only a teacher. Because material is available, what you are doing, you are reading that material from the book and you are transferring it to student. Same thing, many times I have seen people will not try to understand also. Majority of the cases what we do is we read certain material, we transfer it to students, that is right. But for the subject whichever you have read and you want to present in front of the students, you should have a feel for that subject. Feel for that subject means, I have feel for my parents, I have feel for my children. Means I do know every in and out about whom I have a feel, and I can take certain decisions about whom I feel. I know in what way they behave in what different contexts, because I have a feel about them, feel for them. So you should have feel for a subject. Means once you start reading about that subject, you should be passionate enough. You should be able to create something new in that subject. You should be able to get some new questions out of that subject. If that level you have reached in any subject, that is good. You can be at least good teachers. But as I said, if you are a good researcher, your confidence level will be something different. I was reading somewhere, in normal private colleges, people say that this person did this, this person, banker's algorithm, and deadlock detection algorithm, deadlock removal algorithm, all these things we teach our students in operating system. But in a very big institutions like Stanford, IISc, then MIT, professors say that till now people have solved this problem this way, but I have proposed a new method, that method solves it this way. You see the confidence in a person who says, I have proposed this new solution, and the confidence in a person who says, Mr. X has done this and Mr. Y has done this. My suggestion is, we should not limit our role only to tell X has done this and Y has done that. We also should be able to contribute in some field, that this is my contribution, so that your confidence in teaching other subjects also will be boosted, and you should start, you will have feel towards the subject that you are teaching or you are reading. So no one has made it as a compulsion. It should come as a passion, right? But passion, it is like everyone will not get what he or she wants. But there is some point where you should decide whether I should do properly the things what I have got or not. If you want to do properly the things what you have got, then research is inevitable. You have put compulsion on yourselves because you don't get promotion. Probably if you're not PhD, nobody will remove you from the job. Already if you are in the job. For new job seekers, it is different. You want promotion, so you are doing PhD. It is a compulsion who you yourself are putting on you. I don't think somebody else is putting. If you don't want to, leave it. You do your achievement in some other field. It is not a very specific answer to a person who has asked the question, but it's a very general answer. And we have to be like a Roman when we are in Rome. When whole world is thinking this way of an academic system, we are a part of that, and we have to follow it. There is no other way. But anything and everything, you can develop a passion about it if you work little hard in that. I do not know whether I have answered this question or not. If there are any questions, you can please ask.
Sir, one more question, sir.
Please.
Sir, am I audible, sir? Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir,
Yeah, you are
even,
audible. You are audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah, one more question, sir. Ethics and moral values are to be imbibed during research or not?
They are to be imbibed, no? If I would have shown you two papers. One of my papers got published around 2 years before. Exactly the same paper is taken. Every sentence is changed by the person who knows better English than mine, and all results is kept same, and even references are same, and it has passed all plagiarism checks, and it is published in IEEE conference. How do you feel as an original researcher, and what is the value of that person who has created that new paper in the field? Ethics is something related to majority of the things. Now what happens is I take something which looks very beautiful and I claim it is mine in my article. I write it in, I use it in my article, and I claim that, I may not claim, but I write it as if it is my own creation. Either it may be a sentence, or it may be a figure, or it may be some equation, or whatever it is. That is unethical practice. If somebody else has created it, you have to quote his credentials. So ethics is most important in everything, not only in research. Ethics is important in everything. If ethical practices are not followed, the consequences are very hard. We are seeing those consequences nowadays. One or the other day it comes. Once people lose faith in the existing administrative system, we put it in the next birth. We say that if we do something wrong this birth, in this birth, next birth you will get a punishment for that, because it's a helplessness of the people who do not see any improvement in their heart, that if we do something wrong, we will get its rewards or punishments. We only have to experience them. So that will be there now or then. At least those unethical practices will not keep you happy. At the end of the day, if you do that, you will not be happy. Whether it is caught, it is said everyone is a thief, but only those who are caught are labeled. All of us are thieves, but if somebody catches us, then we will be labeled as thief. Otherwise we will not be labeled as thief. But whether we are labeled as thief or not, at least I know that what I have done. So it will not give me a nice sleep. It will not give me a good feeling. So better to be late but practice ethics. Yes, next question.
Questions, sir. One more question, sir. Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes. Yeah, you are audible.
Sir, from Radha BN, in present scenario, faculty are asked to register for PhD,
You're
whether they wish to or not.
Hmm.
They have to. In such a situation, how can research ethics be followed?
Research and ethics both are highly individualistic, highly subjective. Majority of the times we are not very happy in the job place which we are doing. It's because we are not liking it. First of all, that job we are not liking. Our interests are something else. Our potential is something else. If we go into that field, there are a lot of chances of flourishing that. But unfortunately, we have come to teaching. So once we come to teaching, then there are norms of this teaching. Some norms of this teaching. Again, it is debatable whether all those norms are right or not. But we need to follow those norms. If you want to do a district collector, you have to pass IAS, isn't it? So once you become IAS, then you have certain code of conduct. Those things you have to follow. You have chosen to be a teacher. People ask you to register for PhD. Before anybody asks you register for PhD, you would have registered, because it is, as I said, it gives you altogether a new level of confidence. Once you speak to your children, once you speak to somebody else, uh, it is I do not know whether it is better or not better to register for PhD, but at least some research and innovative mentality should be there in a teacher. He only can bring new things to his children or his students. Otherwise, already something is written in the book and we are telling the same thing to the students. It is not the purpose of education. So something innovatively we need to do. Even if you are doing it in teaching, that would be good. You need not have to have a PhD degree itself. But if you are doing, as I was telling, finally we have to be Roman when we are in Rome. Whatever degree you get, whatever work you do, whatever publications you do, those should give you some recognition. Those should give you bread and butter. Those should give you better status. So all those things you should very properly think, and you're investing 4-5 years of your time. You should invest it properly and get the better outcomes. Then only it is useful. But better not to do if somebody forces you to do that.
Thank you, sir.
Right? Any other
Thank you, sir.
questions?
No,
Yes.
sir, no other questions.
Yes.
Over to you,
Mr.
Harish,
Madhav.
sir. Harish, sir,
Hmm?
over to you.
Yes, sir. Sir, am I
Hello.
audible?
So Dr.
Yeah, Harish sir,
Principal,
you're
Dr.
audible.
Suresh as
Go
a
ahead, please.
principal has joined.
Sir,
So I request the principal sir to talk few words.
sir, you stop sharing the screen, sir, so that you can see the screen, people's.
Okay. Yes. Where should I do this?
Sir, where there is a share screen, no, there only you can stop it.
That is, I have hidden that. No, where it is notes.
ಇಲ್ಲ.
Close this. We should see. Save. Okay.
Yes, sir, you can
Is
visual.
it fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Please. Suresh sir, namaste.
We are visible, sir. We are visible.
Vijayashri madam.
Sir, Dr. Suresha, sir, principal of Shri Venkateshwara College, sir, joined. Sir, I
Yeah.
request you to speak few words, Dr. Suresha, sir.
ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಸ್ಟಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ. ಸರ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಟು ರಿಜಾಯಿನ್.
Sir, am I audible, sir? Hello? Hello, am I audible?
You are audible.
Yes, sir.
Harish sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, I think there was some technical issue, so the principal could not join. I'll just conclude this. Sir, I really thank you for your words of wisdom on research and ethics, and for giving us a clear view on research, how to conduct a research, how to specifically select a topic and conclude on it, and enlighten us further with respect to pseudo research scenarios for few people's monetary benefit also. And I'm sure this will help many of the participants to confine their research to specific topic and give a better output. And on behalf of the organizing committee and on my own behalf, sir, I really thank you for accepting our invitation and giving us.
Suresh sir got connected, it seems.
Sir, namaste, sir. Hello. Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Sir, good morning, sir. ಭಾಳ ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಗಲಕೋಟೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಾನು ಇದ್ದೆ ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
ಸರ್ ನೀವು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್ CG?